it's 5 o'clock. Do we have anyone else joining us by phone?
Mayor Grove?
Yeah, I'm on the phone, Alan.
Wade? You're on the phone?
And Wade's on the
And Wade's on the phone?
Yep.
All right.
Harley? Yes.
Yep, I'm on the phone as well, Harley.
Okay, Harley. Nice to have you. Good morning. We'll call the meeting to order. Just a word, the people in the conference room, I could not hear your conversation that you had, so you may have to speak up for people on the computer or by phone. So we'll call the meeting to order. The first item is to approve the agenda. Any additions, deletions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move right the agenda. This is Wade.
I'll second. Mike.
We have a second by who?
Mike.
All right, Mike, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we need to do a roll call, Paul?
Should. Yeah, technically I think we should. For the call-ins.
All right. Cairo, would you do that? Do you have the people that are participating today?
Yeah. For those calling in, if you, Wade, would you make an affirmative or on the motion?
Yep. Wade, yes, or however you want to do it. Yeah.
Okay, Harley?
Yes.
And Alan, Alan is yes.
Thank you.
The next item is to approve the minutes from June 22nd. Do we have any deletions, additions, questions?
McBride moves the minutes.
Very good. Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
Do we have a second?
Very good.
Second.
All right. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And Mayor?
I'm for it.
Commissioner Pavlik?
Wade, yes.
And Alan, yes. Thank you very much. Next, we'll have the treasurer's report. Commissioner McBride.
Thank you. Cold weather testing. $21,000 transfer from cold weather testing, and $10,000 from JLR to KEDA. Need to move money to pay bills. This was as of July 27th when I did the bills, and we had one that came in after that with KEDA. We'll talk about that. Okay, cold weather testing on the second page over. Nothing jumps out. Just continue to have pretty much standard housekeeping bills. Total $5,459.32. We had airport lease, then city interactive calls, and then we had some small bill from Jackson Electric. The rest are just service bills from Mid-Continent, Merck, water, and that stuff. $5,459.32, and I move that forward to be paid.
All right. We have a motion from the treasurer. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Here, Grove a second.
We have a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Commissioner Pavlik? Commissioner Pavlik? How do you vote?
Yeah, Wade, yes.
All right. Mayor Droba?
Yes.
All right. And from Rasmussen, aye. Thank you very much. Any opposed? Thank you. Please continue, Treasurer McBride.
Okay, we move to the KEDA, bills for July as of July 21. $34,499.91. And then we have city water, approximately $54 was not in yet. And we had a April, May, and June advertising bill came in from Ripple, a nice little town down south of here, for $41. So we'd add those through. I did not add them, so just kind of do that in your mind. One that jumped out, and I asked Paul and Kyra about it, and that is our yearly League Minnesota Cities insurance premium for workman's comp, and I believe is it also our liability too, Paul? Is it all of it, or just workman's comp? It's Kyra.
Workman's comp is.
Okay, but it's everything. Yeah. It's everything. Okay, all the workman's comp is about $1,136, and the rest of our insurance is $11,072. So, let's see. Do we add those bills in? $95. 95. 91 4 9 4. Like 34 594 somewhere in there. Yes. Yep. Okay, so I would move forward to pay bills of $34,594.91.
All right.
I'll second. Exposure.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? I didn't hear.
Yes. Kraus.
Very good. Any further discussion, questions? Say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Pavlik?
Wade, aye.
Mayor Droba?
Aye.
And Rasmussen, aye. Thank you very much, Treasurer McBride. We'll move on to the CDC update, COVID-19 assistance.
This is Joanne. Paul and I are working with the county and Jenny to come up with a small business grant program for the CARES Act fund. We established guidelines for the small business relief and then also for the nonprofits. And then we did some examples, and we're working on the application with Big Fish Digital at the Journal. And the county is going to look at our guidelines tomorrow at their meeting. And we're going to have Clifton Larson Allen look at and review to make sure that they follow the guidelines that the CARES Act recommends. And hopefully we will be able to start having applications online by the end of this week.
And I would just add, Mr. Chair, this is a federal program where the states were allocated funds, federal funds, and then the state, by per capita calculation, awarded it down to the county level. And they're leaving it up to the county somewhat to establish like the limits of these grants. I think we're looking at $10,000 And the funds are really twofold. One is to help cities and counties recover the cost of COVID-related expenses that they didn't budget for. And then a portion of it is allocated to small businesses to help them, businesses that were affected by the COVID pandemic. So it's twofold. And Joanne said our office is going to be primarily administering the small business portion of this program. Can't remember the total amount that Koochiching got. It's significant.
Yeah, and so we're asking the county to do 10% of the total funds that they received from the CARES Act to be put towards this small business and nonprofit relief fund money. And we did ask also 10% from each individual city, because cities over 200 got funding as well. I know Rainier City Council already had their meeting, and they allocated 10% of their city funds towards this grant. Again, these grants are, the business one is going to be up to $10,000. For expenditures incurred due to COVID. So that's PPE, any barriers, things that were not, accounted for originally in, regular business. And then they would have occurred, or will occur March 1st through December 1st of this year. So if buying PPE is an ongoing expense for a business, and they kind of have a average amount that they spend every month, they can allocate that amount through December that they can have grant monies towards. And then the nonprofit will be up to $5,000 we're looking at. And we've established a review committee, and it's going to be a designated person from the county and also from each city in the county. We'll have a person be on the review committee to review those applications and decide, if they're, using it for the right things, and then get funding out to our businesses and nonprofits that need it. Our office is going to be in charge of the applications, so applications will come into our office. We will help people fill out the application, make sure that they're correct to give to the committee. We will not be the deciding factor on those, since we're going to be helping people with the application.
But as this rolls out, and we hope to have it rolling out this week, just encourage all of our board members as they talk to business owners to apply for this funding. And if they have any questions, please contact our office or the county. We should be the primary, just because the counties and cities are so busy with it. Yeah. So I encourage anyone, and everybody that's been affected by the pandemic, to at least look at the application and apply for funds, so we're eligible.
Yep.
Can I add? We talked about it in our city council meeting, and we were waiting to see what the application and everything looked like. But I believe that we would be on board for the 10%. And maybe Mayor Drowa could. Harley, could you expand on our potential 10%? I know we talked about it at the cow.
Well, as Councillor Kraus just said, the city looks like we're willing to jump in at 10% as well. The thing is we're trying to figure out where our expenses are, along with some telecommunications equipment upgrade at the city, because we're finding that we are not set up as well as what we would hope to be for teleconferencing and stuff. So the city is looking at that. It'll probably be on our first meeting in August. But yeah, we're looking at moving forward. We just got to compile our bills first.
It's a good point, and it's a little tricky because you're trying to anticipate. The program, as Joanne referenced, runs from March 1 through December 1. So you're trying to anticipate. I think a lot of us felt that the worst would be over by now, but as this flare-up continues, it's going to be tricky to try to anticipate some of these expenses into the future. But 10% each, and then the county allotment for the small business program is about $200,000 approximately.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with that amount, approximately $200,000, and go through, open up applications. If there is money left over, or if there is still a need, if there's money left, businesses can apply again for different expenses, of course, that they will need. And if there's more applications than money, then we will go back to the county and the cities and ask if they can allocate additional funds towards this program.
Joanne, the question, these are expenses that have incurred in order for the business to stay open and whatever, but not to incur lost revenues?
Right. So you cannot say we were closed, for a month and I normally would have made this much, that's how much I want. It's not for lost revenue. So the months that a business was closed, they can do rent and utilities towards the grant. So they'll pay that piece of it, but not any lost revenue.
Further questions?
Joanne, you mentioned nonprofits. That's a pretty wide area. Are the conditions and terms similar to those?
So for nonprofits, they're looking at ones that give assistance. So it would be if an individual had to be quarantined and needed assistance, homeless assistance due to COVID, meal deliveries to higher risk individuals in the county, any of those type of services that are needed that nonprofits offer, helping with, avoid eviction, all those types of things, nonprofits can apply for those.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you, Joanne. It sounds like a good program.
And then I just have one more update. Sorry. I'm going to pass it out here. But we did have Ashley Mettler at Koochiching is now open. And so I just passed out some pictures of her setup that she has there at Koochiching. So if you're looking for childcare, also Janessa Smith just had her appointment with the licenser, and she's looking at being open on August 3rd. And there's pictures. I have pictures, and I can send them out to everybody of her setup there in Little Fork, the bathroom remodel, the outdoor space, and then her classroom. And then we just have to work on the other classroom and get that. And there's a few final touches that need to be done on that classroom, and then we can start marketing that classroom for an additional provider to be in that Little Fork space.
So, Joanne, how many spots does this open up between the two of them?
It would be 20 spots between the two of them. So they can each do license for 10 kids for their first year, and then their second year they can go up to 12.
Terrific.
And those would be
Very good.
normal outcomes.
Yep, so they're both doing Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. But again, if somebody has something that they need to do for work, they're willing to be flexible and try to help parents out. So, thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. The next item is Director's Report. Mr. Nevinen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Things have been somewhat quiet, but a lot of COVID-related activities that we're getting involved in and playing a role, which we've touched on that CARES Act already. But I did want to just touch on a few things that are kind of ongoing. And the Cobblestone Hotel folks ran into a hurdle of late. They had been working on bank financing, and it looked like they had secured the necessary amount that they were trying to put together. And then the bank came back, and because of COVID and because of the uncertainty that around COVID, that they wanted to revisit kind of their ratios, and so they were able to leverage some additional funding. And when I talked to them last week, they were back on track and hoping to finalize the finance piece, and then working with the city, submit a site and construction plan, and actually start construction later this summer, early fall. So I've heard that too from other lenders, that the COVID uncertainty is affecting how banks are looking at lending, and affecting specific industries or areas like hospitality. So I would also add that the hotel will be approaching the city and the county for tax abatement as part of the project, and I've been working with Ken and Jenny from the city and county to put those abatement information packets together for them. So Commissioner Hanson and I was visiting, and we had members of the White Earth Business Community committee call and stop by. They're looking at a number of different projects, and they wanted to kind of just share some of what our experiences involving power projects, logistics and foreign trade zone, as well as just some other things that they've attempted. It was a like I said, far-ranging conversation, and I don't know where it goes, but it's good to have partnerships and kind of learn from other people what they're trying to do there on the White Earth Reservation. Hello, Mike, if you had any thoughts.
I just think it's going to be beneficial to all parties. It was very positive.
Very good. We touched on the CARES Act, Joanne did, so I won't spend any more time on that. Just some other pieces. Joanne and I were on the radio at an invitation from Tricia from the Falls Chamber, talking about the CARES Act funding, talking about some of the other programs from the state feds to assist with small businesses. And the Northland Progressive, after taking a few months off, is meeting on a monthly in person, and was able to attend that. And it's interesting how all the communities in the county are affected by this, and like for Northland, the county fair down there is a really big deal, both financially and just culturally, and you lose both fairs in the county. Those are hard to get back. The Bass tournament is another one that those are the kind of impacts that are really hard to gauge just in total, but it's good to get down and visit with the folks down in Northland. And then Joanne and I had a chance to chat with the Minnesota Timber Producers Association about COVID-related, if there's any expenses, especially with the Verso mill down in Cloquet closing. Some of the timber producers up in this part were affected by that. And just, I added in your packets, the city was successful in their grant for public infrastructure on the business park, the asphalt and curb and gutter as part of that project. They were successful to the tune of $349,000, which is great. Will help. And I'm talking to Mayor Droba and Ted that it's probably not going to happen until next year. Is that right, Mayor Droba?
As I understand it, we're probably going to do some utility work this year. Don't quote me on this, but I do think that there's going to be some utility work and stabilization this year, but then the asphalt and curb and gutter would be next year.
That's terrific. And just on a personal note, we talk a lot about your ticket home here and trying to recruit and make an environment where young people can return to the area. My daughter and son-in-law are actually moving back to the community, which is pretty exciting for us, and just a nice little side note and personal note. So she will be buying Dr. Tom Erzig's dental practice, and we hope to. They've already purchased a house in town here. So anyway, just want to share that with you.
That's good to hear. Any comments, questions for Director Nevinen?
Just that that's pretty exciting news, and good that she's taking over. That'll work out great.
Yeah, we're excited. Thanks.
Yeah, we're fortunate that we have dental coverage in our area. That's not the case in many rural areas, and so the University of Minnesota has a program to encourage dentists from their dental school to locate in rural areas, and also IRRB has a program to repay loans or help repay student loans for dental graduates who would set up practice in the Taconite district. So, yes, that's good news. All right?
Yes, and Christine Koochiching also returned and native and yeah.
And just aside, when I was on the dental board, the University of Minnesota found out that it was very difficult to get metro students who grew up in the metropolitan area to go to rural America, where rural students or students who came from rural locations were much more comfortable doing that, and then many times that was their plan. So the University of Minnesota realizes it, their dental school, and I think they've helped a lot with the shortage of dentists in rural Minnesota. We'll move on to city and county updates. We'll start with you, Mayor Droba.
Thank you. So we have two things this week that are a little bit outside of our normal practice of business. We have a alley vacation this evening discussion and public hearing. It's for the former TP property for a business development on that property. So I think that it should be a pretty, I don't even know what the adjective I want to use is. It's going to be a controversial discussion, to say the very least. So we have that going on this evening. And then on Wednesday, just want to confirm with Joanne that she got her invite for the Cary Park Rehabilitation Project. We're looking at, within the next year or two, rehabilitating Cary Park, fixing up the arena, adding indoor basketball courts, food, kitchen, community room, senior center, have access for daycare providers to set up with all of the outdoor equipment, and being a central location inside the city. We also have the Splash Park looking to relocate over there, changing up how we're doing our baseball field. Instead of having two, having one, and rotating that so that the sun is not in the batter's eyes, and putting in a skate trail, skate park, and a sliding hill for in the winter. So that meeting's going to be this Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and it is for our partnership organizations that would have a direct vested interest in the program. I may be forgetting some, but it's the Borderlands Humane Society with the dog park that's going in there, rec hockey, the rec commission, senior center, Rotary, and KETA and SBC with the daycare portion. So those are the two things that we have going on this week, along with our continued Highway 53 project and our 82 city blocks that we're getting fixed this summer. So we have a lot on our plate right now.
Thank you. Any additions, Councilor Kraus?
No, nothing to add.
This is Commissioner McBride. I got one question. question, Ellen.
Thank you.
That would be either the councilor or the mayor. Is the city still planning on a Labor Day celebration?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're going to be meeting first week of August to have that discussion. I personally am leaning towards canceling it and just having the fireworks. I think that would be the portion of the 4th of July celebration that we had. I think that maybe that ends up being a cancel. The Labor Day picnics side, their plan is to, in the event that we continue going up with COVID-19 cases, making everything into go boxes so that people can take it home if they feel more comfortable. So I think the 4th of July portion, the Labor Day, or the 4th of July portion, which would be the Friday, Saturday that we were hoping to do, maybe on the chopping block. I think that they're still planning on doing the Labor Day picnic portion with social distancing and making it with to-go boxes. But all of that is a discussion that will be happening within the next week or so.
Any other questions? Yes, the COVID-19 per capita rate in Koochiching County is quite alarming. It is, as we all know, the highest in northeast Minnesota. And so whatever kinds of methods we can use to reduce that would be helpful. From the county, who would like to speak? Commissioner Pavlik? Commissioner McBride.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot. I think Paul had touched on it earlier. Is with the announcement of the Verso shutdown in Duluth, it has affected the timber producers. Not so much the producers, but the people that harvest and sell to timber companies and paper companies. The impact of the loss of the balsam and spruce, the fir market, has kind of collapsed, and they've asked for some help, and they approached the county. Again, the county has always been very, very receptive of ideas and help to the local loggers, the small business owners. So we'll continue that operation or that request. We don't know exactly how it was going to be, but we plan on having that discussion tomorrow, I believe. The other thing I did ask about the city parade, but business as usual out here at the airport. That everything is going gangbusters. Again, people want to drive by and see a little change in the outlook around here. The dynamics have changed. We have highway projects going on. County Road 103 is continuing to work. It's going to be beautiful when it gets done. A lot of small projects. I don't know if there's anything out west, Commissioner Hanson. I don't think the county's got anything going west of you.
You know, the county highway department is such that their normal maintenance really does carry us, and they do a great job.
You know, and another issue is that when you talk about the county highway department, we're mowing, trying to mow as much as we can the county roads. The invasive species continues to be a big issue, especially with that little yellow plant. I got a big burn on my leg, and I think that's what it's from the wild parsnip. The wild parsnip, yes, and it is everywhere. And I don't know how we're going to get our hands around that, but it's really become an issue, not only on public land, but also on private land. So you've got to try to eradicate as much as you can. And if you mow it, you got to mow it early. If you mow it too late, all you do is blow the seeds around. So it's a tough deal. Other than that, go ahead, Paul.
Just, is the Island View Sewer Project essentially completed?
My mask fell out.
Yes.
Not yet, and we
some security, they get things done. But we've had some difficulty getting things wrapped up. We hope to do it within the next month, but wait to be seen, I guess. You know, we get busy on other things and haven't been able to wrap things up here. So
essentially, the sewer system is operational. Okay, but it's a lot of the rehabbing, and there's some bullet points that we got to go out and take care of. There's small items, but I don't think either contractor has reached substantial completion yet for satisfy us. So.
Well, hats off to the county. That's just a huge project and a lot of benefits, but I know just the complexity and the scale of it was very impressive, and so kudos.
Any other comments from the county? All right, out county updates. Mr. Hanson.
You know, Mr. Chair, I've been out of commission for about 6 weeks, so all I can tell you is the weather is great out county. Come on down to the Birchdale, stop in at North Home and eat in one of their wineries, and spend some time in our area here that surprise you how many places we've got that people don't know about.
Thank you. Mr. Fish. Any other?
More fish in my life.
Any other comments, updates? All right, thank you very much. Public comment period. Do we have any members of the public that are there in attendance? All right. If we have no public comments, any other business that should come before the KEDA board?
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to share that we'll be getting out a draft budget for the August meeting, and it will be challenging. I've indicated that earlier that just due to some of the cancellations from our test groups, but we'll hopefully have a better handle on that by the end of August, first part of September. But it will be a challenging budget time, and I'm sure city and county are going through similar type of unknowns, but we should have a draft budget by that meeting.
All right. Any other comments? Let's set a date for the next meeting in August.
That's right. 24.
Any preference? 24th. This was the fourth Monday. I think we did set it last time at the 24th at 9 p.m.
I believe so. Yep.
Okay. Is that agreeable? All right. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes. Commissioner Pavlik.
This is I don't want to inconvenience anyone, but I'm just wondering if we could move our next meeting a half hour either way, a half hour before or a half hour after. What's going on here, and the reason I come and go here during the meeting was because I'm at the same time I'm having a meeting with the coronavirus task force, and that's become very important, and it happens at 9 o'clock on the same day. But it only lasts a half hour, so I was just wondering if we could move ours a half hour either way. Then I wouldn't have to be trying to do two meetings at once.
I have it. Shall we meet at 8:30?
9:30. 9:30. I'm hearing.
Pardon?
9:30 is better because then you.
I'm hearing 9:30. Some of the here.
At 9:30?
That way we don't have to try and be done in a half an hour just in case.
So
that'd be great. I appreciate that.
At 9:30, would that be acceptable to everyone? Very good. We'll we'll set the time at 9:30, 24th of August.
Thank you.
Any other business? Thank you very much. I know that those virtual meetings are not really easy or simple, and thank you for your participation and attendance and diligence. So thank you very much. The meeting's adjourned.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.